Stop the Nazi games indeed. Hello to you all. Daar zijn we er weer. RHTV live. We streamen natuurlijk live vanuit het mooie Maastricht. Ja, en we laten natuurlijk zien voor het internationaal publiek waar Maastricht precies ligt. Het ligt in het zuiden des lands. Ja, voor de mensen die het niet weten. So we are streaming live from Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. And of course, we're going to take a look at politics and, of course, geopolitics. And first of all, we're going to take a look at Gideon van Meijeren from the Forum for Democracy Party. So we're going to take a look at what Gideon van Meijeren has to say towards our justice minister. And it's about radicalization, right? You know, the government is trying to prevent radicalization. Well, it's the government itself that is radical. Ja. De regering probeert te deradicaliseren, zoals het heet. Maar het is de regering zelf die radicaal is. Ja, serieus. Als ik je nou zou zeggen dat Nederland 3 jaar lang een terreurorganisatie heeft gesteund, die een andere staat omver wil werpen, ja, dan weet je wie er aan de macht is in Nederland. En dan zou je wel weer zeggen, ja, die Rogier die verzint dat. Nou, hier kunnen we het zien. So the Netherlands gave support to jihadis trying to overthrow Syria. Between May 2015 and spring 2018, the Netherlands supported 22 groups that had weapons, but they didn't get weapons from the Netherlands. No, they got 313 cars, food, medicine, communication devices, tents, uniforms, and we also trained them, right? So it's the government that is radical. Ja, het is de regering dat radicaal is. Niet de burger. Nee. De burger probeert juist een betere regering te maken. Ja. Dus. Ja, tenzij je dit normaal vindt. Ik vind het in ieder geval niet normaal. Onze regering is radicaal. Het zijn niet de burgers. Maar goed, we gaan even kijken naar Gideon van Meijeren. Die de Zilgus aanspreekt over het feit afwijkende meningen mogen niet meer. Ja, we gaan even kijken naar wat hier gezegd wordt.
Ja, dank u wel. De minister maakt onderscheid tussen activisme enerzijds en extremisme anderzijds en probeert ons gerust te stellen door te zeggen dat activisme buiten de reikwijdte van dit wetsvoorstel valt. Maar volgens mij komt dat niet overeen met de tekst van het wetsvoorstel. En daarmee borduur ik ook even voort op de vraag van de heer Sneller over die zinsnede. Het proces dat uiteindelijk kan leiden tot terroristische of extremistische activiteiten. Erkent de minister daarmee dat personen die nog niets strafbaars hebben gedaan, die ook nog helemaal niet bereid zijn om in ernstige mate de wet te overtreden, maar zich wel bevinden in een proces dat daar uiteindelijk toe kan leiden, al kunnen worden aangemerkt als een persoon die in verband gebracht kan worden met radicalisering en dus onderwerp kunnen worden van zo'n casusoverleg. En dat die wet, die reikwijdte dus wel degelijk veel breder is dan daadwerkelijk extremisme of terrorisme, want dat deze wet al toepasselijk wordt in een veel vroeger stadium als er nog helemaal geen strafbaar feit is gepleegd.
So Gideon van Meijeren is basically asking, about extremism and terrorism, and the people that, don't want that, but are planning to do something, as in a demonstration or likewise, will they be deemed as terrorists or extremists, right? And we're going to take a look at what the demissionary Justice Minister has to say.
Laat ik het zo zeggen, het eerste deel van de vraag klopt en het tweede deel niet. Het gaat hier inderdaad over mensen die niet al een terroristische aanslag hebben gepleegd. Dit gaat over vroegsignalering en preventie. En vanuit de Kamer ook terecht op alle domeinen waar ik voor sta, bij justitie en veiligheid, waar heel veel aandacht gaat naar preventie en vroegsignalering. Dus dan moet je erbij zijn voordat iemand die grens overgaat van het gebruik in dit geval van grof geweld. Vervolgens was de vraag, en ook niet de bereidheid heeft, dat is niet waar. De criteria die hier staan gaan juist over bereidheid hebben en dat in je gedragingen tonen om geweld te gebruiken voor extremistische doeleinden. Dus is hier absoluut geen sprake van dat activisme, extremisme en radicalisering op één hoop worden gegooid. Integendeel, in de wet is dat juist heel erg uit elkaar getrokken.
Meneer Van Meijer in tweede instantie.
Ja, dit komt daadwerkelijk niet overeen met de tekst van het artikel, want dat artikel 1 onderdeel A bepaalt uitdrukkelijk juist dat nog geen sprake hoeft te zijn van die bereidheid, maar dat al de wet van toepassing is in het proces daar uiteindelijk toe kan leiden. En ik begrijp dat je natuurlijk wil kunnen optreden voordat er daadwerkelijk een terroristische of extremistische activiteit is verricht. Alleen die zinsnede, het proces dat daar uiteindelijk toe kan leiden, is wel heel erg ruim. Want burgemeesters die kunnen toch prima motiveren dat wanneer personen die nog niet strafbaar doen, maar wel steeds activistischer worden, dat dat een proces is dat daar uiteindelijk toe kan leiden. Er is niet gekozen voor het proces dat daar uiteindelijk toe zal leiden of waarschijnlijk toe zal leiden of dat er een directe dreiging is. Nee, al zodra er een proces is dat uiteindelijk kan leiden tot extremistische activiteiten, dus kan leiden tot die bereidheid om eventueel in ernstige mate de wet te overtreden, dan kun je al in verband gebracht worden.
So basically the demissionary Minister of Justice had said, yes, we are looking at those kind of people, those people who are not criminally active or stuff like that, the people who want to demonstrate. We are looking at those people because they can be extreme and Gideon van Meijer is saying that is a slippery slope you're on. How can you determine if someone will commit an act or not? It's very hard to determine.
Met radicalisering, en als de minister dit niet zo bedoelt, waarom heeft ze dan geen gehoor gegeven aan het advies van de Nederlandse Orde van Advocaten om handvatten te geven voor wanneer er nou sprake is van dat proces? Want dat is nog steeds totaal onduidelijk, ondanks alle vragen die hier gesteld zijn. Wanneer is er nou sprake van zo'n proces als dat verder gaat dan activisme, maar er is nog geen sprake van extremisme?
De minister.
Nou, het staat nogal duidelijk in artikel 5. Dus er wordt een hele lange vraag gesteld met allerlei aannames die niet corresponderen met waar we het vandaag over hebben. En waar we het vandaag over hebben is al ingewikkeld en complex genoeg. Dus ik zou ook iedereen willen uitnodigen om dan vooral te kijken wat staat en hoe kunnen we dat dan aanscherpen indien nodig. Want dat die
Kijk, wat ingewikkeld en complex is, zoals ik net heb laten zien, onze overheid is zelf radicaal. Ik vind het radicaal dat wij voor ruim 25 miljoen euro materialen hebben gegeven, auto's, tenten, uniformen, trainingen, om een andere staat omver te werpen. Dan ben je als staat radicaal bezig. Dus het probleem is, hoe pak je nou een radicale staat aan die de burgers betwist als radicaal, omdat ze dan tegen het radicale beleid zijn. Ja. Dit is gewoon een projectie op de muur van de overheid. moeilijk te definiëren en zoiets allemaal. Het blijft een grijs gebied. Dan kunnen ze het zelf gaan definiëren. Ja. Dus dit is allemaal aan de hand. De overheid is zelf radicaal. Ik vind het niet normaal dat ik dus belasting heb betaald om een ander land omver te werpen. Ik vind het niet normaal. Ik vind het niet normaal dat ik belasting betaal, nu nog steeds, om Oekraïne staande te houden. Het is niet mijn oorlog. Ga jij maar lekker aan de frontlinie vechten, Markje. Niet mijn oorlog. Ga er weg. Jullie zijn zelf radicaal.
Aanscherping nodig is, en in dit debat en in het gesprek, dat deel ik natuurlijk. Maar de heer Vermeijden gooit echt alles op één hoop en dat is gewoon niet aan de orde in de wetstekst zoals die voor ligt. Dit gaat over de bereidheid om geweld te gebruiken en dat het toonbaar moet zijn uit je gedragingen. Dus er is absoluut geen sprake van dat burgemeesters volgens lukraak activisten ergens aan een casusoverleg gaan bespreken of laten bespreken. Dat is ook de praktijk niet, dat is niet hoe het werkt.
Nou, je kan ervan uitgaan dat het wel gebeurt. Ze zeggen voor niet, nee, is niks aan de hand in Nederland hoor. Nee, niks aan de hand in Nederland. Nee. Ondertussen hebben ze een heel profiel van je. Waar je bent geweest, welke boetes je hebt en zoiets allemaal. Serieus. Dit zijn serieuze issues. De staat houdt ons in de gaten. Oh jee, je zou maar eens kwaad worden op het feit dat wij als Nederland 3 jaar lang, in het geheim ook nog wel, het is belastinggeld, het is geld wat de Nederlander investeert in de pot. Daarvan pikt de overheid wat geld uit en geeft het aan een groep die een staat omver wil werpen. Nou, als dat niet extreem is, als dat niet radicaal is, dan weet ik het ook niet meer. En hierbij moet de Nederlander toch wakker worden. Ik zal het nog een keer laten zien. Hè. Wij hebben dus 3 jaar lang hebben we een jihadistische beweging gesteund. 3 jaar lang. In het geheim. Ja. Dit is radicaal. Dan ga je me niet als overheid zeggen, definitie geven van radicalisering. Nee, je bent zelf radicaal bezig. Ja. Dus, ja, ik kan misschien aan mij liggen, maar ik vind dit radicaal van de overheid. Ik vind radicaal dat wij ons bemoeien met bijvoorbeeld Libië. We hebben Libië aangevallen met NATO-interventie. Ik vind dat radicaal. Wat hebben wij nou te zoeken in Libië? Helemaal niks toch? Waarom kunnen we die mensen niet gewoon met rust laten? Nee, we sturen militairen en F-16's naar Libië toe. Nou, ik vind dat radicaal. Dan zou je zeggen, ja, die Rogier die verzint dat. Nee, kijk hier, we laten het zien. Nederland stuurt militairen en F-16's naar Libië. Nou, ik vind dit radicaal. De overheid is zelf radicaal. Ja. En daarbij kan de overheid ons niet definiëren, ons als burgers zijn, niet definiëren als radicaal. Er zijn mensen die in Den Haag bloemetjes hebben gelegd op de grond. Hartjes hebben getekend op de grond. Ook nog met het uitwasbare krijt en weet ik wat allemaal, milieuvriendelijk. Ja. Als je dat al radicaal vindt als overheid, dat op zich is al radicaal. Terwijl je gewoon NATO-troepen naar Libië toestuurt. Je gaat ook nog een groepje steunen die een andere staat omver wil werpen. En dan ga je de burgers aanwijzen dat ze radicaal kunnen zijn. Het kan wel escaleren tot radicalisering. Ga toch weg. Ga toch weg. Wat een land is het geworden, man. Je vraagt toch af waar je het voor doet, hè. Nou ja, we gaan gewoon door. We laten gewoon het nieuws zien. So that was a whole tangent in Dutch. And I kind of said the government is radical, you know, and it's projecting to the population that they are radical, right? No, we are peaceful. We are peaceful people. We want peace. That's what we want. We want peace with our government, but our government sees us as extremists. Very, very sad thing to see. We're also going to take a look at Twitter, because I just posted something from Forum voor Democratie. Here we go. We have Pepijn van Houwelingen, which is also someone within the party. And he basically said this was about Nord Stream, the Nord Stream pipeline, which Dutch also worked upon, right? We also invested in the pipeline, like trillions and trillions of euros in the pipeline, and the pipeline is damaged, right? Now, Forum for Democracy says whoever damaged it, it should be seen as an enemy of the state. And of course, everyone within the whole parliament voted against this request.
Gisteren is er iets opmerkelijks gebeurd hier in de Tweede Kamer. We brachten namelijk een motie in stemming. En dat is deze motie. Ik lees u even de motie voor. De Kamer, gehoord de beraadslaging, constateerde dat de Nederlandse gasunie aan de houden is van de Nord Stream gaspijpleiding met een belang van 9%. Overwegende dat het opblazen van vitale infrastructuur zoals Nord Stream door een statelijke actor onder het internationaal recht wordt beschouwd als een daad van agressie, spreekt uit dat een eventuele statelijke actor verantwoordelijk voor het opblazen van de Nord Stream gaspijpleiding door Nederland wordt beschouwd als een vijandige mogelijkheid. Echt over tot orde van de dag. Dus wat zegt deze motie? Zegt in feite iets wat volkomen voor zich zou moeten spreken, dat als je een pijpleiding, een vitale pijpleiding voor Nederland, en die ook deels van Nederland is, opblaast, en het opblazen van die pijpleiding heeft Nederland €500 miljoen gekost, vergis u niet, dat wordt beschouwd als een daad van agressie en dat in ieder geval niet onze bondgenoot is. Dus wie kan nou tegen zo'n motie stemmen? En kijkt u maar even mee, hier zult u zien wat er gebeurt.
2061 van Houwelingen over uitspreken dat een statelijke actor verantwoordelijk voor het opblazen van de Nord Stream wordt beschouwd als een vijandige mogendheid. Wie is voor? Forum voor Democratie. Verworpen.
Ja, zoals u zojuist zag, stemt iedereen, de hele Kamer stemt tegen deze motie, behalve Forum voor Democratie. En dat
So Forum for Democracy says, right, whoever blew up the Nord Stream pipeline is an enemy of the Netherlands. We invested in the pipeline. And the whole parliament, except Forum for Democracy, said, nope, nope. So we know who blew up the pipeline. We know. And our prime minister is keeping it secret, basically, whilst the secret is out.
is zo tekenend. Want we weten natuurlijk allemaal wie die pijpleiding heeft opgeblazen. Sterker nog, dat hebben de Amerikanen aangekondigd dat ze zouden doen. Dit is allemaal mainstream nieuws. Je kunt het zo terugvinden op Reuters bijvoorbeeld. Biden die zegt, en nu citeer ik, dat als Rusland aanvalt, there will be no longer Nord Stream. We will bring an end to it. Dat is citaat en vervolgens wordt er wel aan hem gevraagd en dan zegt hij op die persconferentie.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again, then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Dus met andere woorden, de Amerikaanse president zegt dat hij Nord Stream gaat opblazen als Rusland aanvalt. Rusland valt aan en kort daarna wordt Nord Stream opgeblazen. Iedereen weet wie dat gedaan heeft. Iedereen weet wie er de belang bij heeft gehad. En iedereen kijkt weg. Dat ziet u gebeuren in de Tweede Kamer. Dat is echt heel, heel opmerkelijk. Want die Kamerleden hoorden er te zitten niet voor het Amerikaans belang. Niet om Amerika te volgen. Niet om meelopertje te zijn van Joe Biden. Die hoorden daar te zitten om het Nederlands belang te verdedigen. En het Nederlands belang is er niet bij gediend dat wij onze eigen pijpleidingen, deels onze eigen pijpleidingen laten opblazen door een ander land. En wij waren de enige partij die hiervoor stemde. En de rest kijkt dus weg, bijna letterlijk. De rest loopt mee aan de leiband van de Verenigde Staten. Daarom ziet u dus dat deze stemming is het ultieme bewijs van. Er is maar één partij die opkomt voor het Nederlands belang. En dat is Forum voor Democratie.
So there we have it, right? A bill prevented, a bill saying whoever blew up Nord Stream pipeline is our enemy. Nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Even though our parliament had said Russia did it. Wait a minute. First you say Russia did it, whilst Russia made the pipeline, right? They can just, turn off the gas. That's basically it, right? So the Dutch parliament says that Russia did it. And now one of the political parties within parliament says whoever did it, if it's Russia or whoever else, that is an enemy of the Netherlands. And now everyone votes against that. It's like, what? First you said Russia did it. Yeah? Then you have this European investigation, which is stalled, basically. And now someone within the political party says, whoever did it, it's an enemy of the Netherlands. Can you agree on that? And they just say, nope, pass. It's like, everyone is against that bill. What? We invested in the Nord Stream pipeline, right? Millions of euros. Weird world. Weird world we live in. Anyway, we're also going to take a look at another place in the world where politics is, going very, very fast. And you had a president for 1 year and now he's stepping down. Vietnam, right? We're going to take a look at Vietnam, what's happening over there. So let's put it on the map first. Here we have Vietnam, a communist-led country which, is politically unstable right now. And we're going to take a look at what's happening over there in Vietnam. Ja, mensen, we gaan even naar Vietnam kijken. Het is politiek instabiel. We hebben een president, net een jaar daar. En die treedt alweer af. En we gaan kijken naar wat er nou precies in Vietnam allemaal gaande is. Why Vietnam's president has been toppled after just a year. We're going to take a look at this here.
Vietnam's president is being forced out after only a year in office. Van Van Thuong is the latest high-profile figure to be toppled in a country important to both China and the West. So, why has he gone? And what are the international implications? This is Inside Story. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Rob Matheson. Now, a year ago, Va Thuong became president of Vietnam with just over 98% of a vote at the National Assembly. Now, he's out. He follows other big figures toppled in an anti-corruption drive. The ruling Communist Party says he's damaged what it calls the public perception and the reputation of the party and the state. Vietnam's transformation from a victorious but war-ravaged country in the mid-1970s to a regional economic powerhouse has been spectacular. Now, countries, particularly the US, are bringing investments and not weapons. But delicate diplomatic footwork is needed by Hanoi to keep good relations with Beijing. So what does the ousting of Vietnam's president mean for the country? And what might its international impact be? We're going to begin with this report from Kulsum Sharif on another fall from the top in Hanoi.
Vietnam's second president in just over a year has quit. Va Thuong, the youngest president in the country's history, took charge last March after the sudden dismissal of his predecessor over corruption charges. Thuong is the latest official to leave office during an intensified campaign. The Communist Party says his shortcomings had negatively affected the reputation of the party and the state.
I will do anything that's of benefit to the people and avoid anything that's harmful to the people. I will be determined in the fight against corruption and negative phenomena.
Va Thuong was widely regarded as being close to the party's General Secretary, Nguyen Phu Trong, the most powerful figure in Vietnam. The position of the president is largely ceremonial, but ranks third in the country's political hierarchy. Although Vice President Vo Thị Thuong will serve as acting president, Thuong's downfall is raising questions about Vietnam's future leadership. The next National Congress, where a new leader could be voted in, is scheduled for 2026. Vietnam is one of Asia's fastest growing economies, and several Western companies are using it as a manufacturing base. The Southeast Asian country also sits at the center of the US and China's struggle for global influence. And analysts fear repeated reshuffles of top political leaders could hurt business sentiment in the country.
It's very important for the party to really balance a healthy relationship between carrying out the anti-corruption campaign, but maintaining a good bureaucratic system and to maintain a very solid economic growth. Because economic growth is the utmost important thing for the performance-based legitimacy of the party. And
you need to get rid of the Communist Party. Get rid of them, right? Get rid of the Communist Party. You are never free with a communist in rule, right? We want to be free. We don't want the party ideology to affect the political, the political flow of things, right? We don't want that. We don't want outside forces deciding for basically a country. We do not want that. Weg met de communistische partij. Weg ermee. De transitie tussen communisme en kapitalisme is nooit goed gegaan. Dus breng een nieuw systeem in wat de Chinezen kunnen aanhangen. En Vietnam kan dat doen. Vietnam can be the stepping stone for China to finally change. Get rid of the CCP. They are bad. And people love the CCP, but these people are so brainwashed. You don't want to know. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, we're also going to take a look at what's happening in Ireland, of course. We love the Irish, right? The Irish had a referendum about something, and they shocked the world, according to our friend Russell Brand, with the anti-woke vote.
Ireland's leaders are completely out of touch with the people that they govern, and now there's been a referendum that proves it. They've rejected the culture war. They are embracing tradition. So does that mean that the people of Ireland need to be persecuted with new hate laws and censorship laws? Or does it just mean that the Irish people and their leaders need to separate? Ironically, get a divorce. Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom. Click the link in the description to support our movement as we continue to examine and explore the disparity between the cultural elites that govern and the rest of us, and the variations and cultural distinctions and differences that would exist in any enormous population. One thing's for sure, the offering of the Irish elites to the Irish people has been resoundingly rejected. They wanted to change the wording around family and the roles of women within the family, and they asked the Irish people, do you want to make these changes? And the Irish people said no. So we're going to have a look at that referendum, or that pair of referenda, and what it means and how it can be used to demonstrate that increasingly what we have is an elite class that use progressivism to condemn entire populations as somehow out of touch and lost in the midst of time. And I think that what's happening in Ireland exemplifies a global phenomena that's of course happening everywhere. The ruling elites of America don't like ordinary American people and want to condemn them. The ruling elites in the UK don't like the British and want to condemn them. And I feel that what will emerge from this is a new type of politics, and it's fascinating to see it evolve. Just because it's coming from the past, it doesn't mean that it's entirely nostalgic. What it means is people are rejecting this new agenda that seeks to wipe away everything of value that includes family and tradition, but also quite deep-seated ideas like our connection to the divine, nature, and God. Let's get into this news story and work out what it means for us as an awakening planet.
We start with breaking news. The Irish Prime Minister has conceded defeat in the nation's referenda on modernising its constitution.
Modernising its constitution. It's one of those referendums where all of the major parties backed a particular answer. A lot like Brexit, really, or a lot like how all of the media don't want Americans to vote for Trump. The whole establishment class is telling you, do this, and the whole population is curiously saying, we're not doing that, or at least a significant portion of the population. In many cases, enough to win elections. This is a real problem for the ruling elite.
Leo Varadkar.
We are not doing that. You know, you see, the Brexit referendum was never asked upon the population. You see, when you have a referendum, let the people decide, right? Let the people influence that referendum, you know, not some political party that says, we want a referendum about blue or red, you know, not that. No, the people don't have influence within the referendum. You see, and therein lies the problem. These people think they can rule over us because we gave them power.
Varadkar says it was already clear the amendments over the definition of family and the woman's role at home had been defeated. Well, that's despite the counting of votes still taking place. Speaking in the last hour, Mr. Varadkar said his government accepted full responsibility. This is the quote. It says, it was our responsibility to convince the majority of people to vote yes, and we clearly failed to do so.
It's fascinating.
You failed as Prime Minister and you resigned. Bye-bye. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is all happening here. Irish Prime Minister resigns. There we go. I'm going to take a look at this here.
When I became party leader and Taoiseach back in June 2017, I knew that one part of leadership is knowing when the time has come to pass on the baton to somebody else, and then having the courage to do it. That time is now. So I am resigning as President and Leader of Fine Gael effective today, and will resign as Taoiseach as soon as my successor is able to take up that office. My reasons for stepping down are both personal and political. I believe this government can be re-elected, and I believe my party, Fine Gael, can gain seats in the next Dáil. Most of all, I believe the re-election of this three-party government would be the right thing for the future of our country, continuing to take us forward, protecting all that's been achieved and building on it.
I hope for Sinn Féin, right? I want Sinn Féin to have the majority of the votes. I hope that they will have a united Ireland. That is what's needed. So for all the Irish people watching, you should be proud of yourselves of what you have accomplished. You know, potato famine and all that, you know, the Titanic, the Olympic, right? You know, but this whole union thing, you know, get rid of it. It's not theirs. You know, England is annexing your country. Still, you know. So I hope Sinn Féin gains a lot of power in Ireland when they can cast the vote, right? Because, you know, this needs to stop. Annexing other countries and such like that, you know, it's weird, man. It's really weird. We moeten ermee stoppen, annexeren en zoiets. Ja, als je kijkt naar Ierland, here we have Ireland. We still know about the troubles you guys had over there. As I've said, potato famine and all that, you know, the English attacking the Irish, and it's still not one country, right? It's two countries. This needs to quit. Such as Kosovo, right? Kosovo is basically a province of Serbia, and the international community said, nope, it's a country, you know. So there you have Kosovo, and we also have the Golan Heights, right? Ever since the 1970s, Israel is annexing a part of Syria, which is the Golan Heights. You see, it's over there, which is being attacked by Hezbollah, as I've said before, on RHTVLive. Here we have the Golan Heights, given by Donald Trump. It's your country, you can take it. No, it's Syrian. It's Syrian ground, right? Ja. Dus er wordt heel veel geannexeerd en zoiets. Zoals de Golanhoogte. Ja, gewoon een stukje van Syrië ingepikt. Ja, wij gaan hier zo settelen. En Hezbollah heeft honderden, dan wel duizenden raketten erop afgevuurd op de Golanhoogte. En we gaan even kijken naar wat beelden. Richard Medhurst gives us what's happening on the Lebanon-Israel war.
Before I expand on the overall Lebanese front, just to show you the footage from the other day when Hezbollah fired 100 Katyusha rockets at the Golan Heights occupied by Israel.
That is pretty heavy, isn't it? You know? So they're shooting at the Golan Heights, right? And the reason why Israel is not a fan of Iran is because Hezbollah is an Iranian proxy which has political power in Lebanon, right? So, and the Israelis do not like that. They don't even like the Palestinians at the Gaza Strip, you know. As I've said before, it's not about Hamas. It is about gas, right? We're going to show an article from 2014 where there was also an operation in the Gaza Strip. And we have a general saying it's about gas. It's about averting an Israeli energy crisis, right? So here we go. The Guardian has mentioned that IDF's Gaza assault is to control Palestinian gas, avert Israeli energy crisis. So, and the former Israeli Defense Force Chief of Staff, Moshe Yalon, said, but in 2007, before Operation Cast Lead, Yalon's concern focused on 1.14 trillion cubic feet of natural gas discovered in Gaza in the year 2000, valued at $4 billion. So it was not about Hamas, right? It's about the Palestinian gas field, basically. And, you know, we have to clear all these cockroaches, all these rats. That's what they're saying, right? I see these people as people, you know, not cockroaches. These people want to survive, right? You know, you have an IDF general basically saying, you know, it's not about Hamas. It's about the Palestinian gas, you know. So that is very, very sad thing to see. But it's happening, you know, it's happening all across the planet. So we're going to take a look at someone more eloquent than I, who can describe the irony of Britain. Here we have George Galloway.
Forever lecturing other people on the quality of their democracy, now have an unelected head of state, an unelected prime minister, and an unelected foreign secretary. Prime Minister Netanyahu announced that this port that's being built in Gaza, with the rubble of the homes destroyed in the bombing, including the skulls and the bones of the people destroyed with the houses and lying unburied under the rubble, that according to Netanyahu, this port is being built for the deportation of millions of Palestinians from the territory. But we may be on the brink of World War III, Madam Deputy Speaker. Little Macron may be about to march his legionnaires into Odessa, creating the gravest international crisis since the Second World War. And we will not be able to question our Foreign Secretary about it.
George Galloway.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I congratulate my successor as the Member of Parliament for the most educated place in Britain. It was once said that the Glasgow Hillhead constituency had the highest pro rata subscription rate to the New Statesman of any constituency in the land, and he showed it in the erudition albeit of an rather ruritarian state of affairs in his contribution, and I'm grateful to him for tabling this and for giving me time that might otherwise have been appropriated by him to make this contribution. Some chicken, some neck, as Mr. Churchill famously said. To paraphrase Mr. Churchill, some Secretary of State, some time. This is not comparable to Peter Mandelson being the business secretary in the House of Lords. This is a time of great international peril, where foreign affairs is undoubtedly the biggest single item in our inboxes. Must be true. There are millions on the streets. Well, it's certainly true of my inbox. There are millions on the streets about Britain's foreign policy. There are demonstrations daily, weekly, all over the country. People are seized of our role in international affairs in a way that, for someone like me, there can't be many members in the House who have participated in more foreign policy issues from the 1980s until now. I have never known a time like it, when our people were so occupied, indeed many preoccupied, by our role in the world. And what I'm about to say is in no sense disrespect for the current occupant of the Foreign Secretaryship. Quite the contrary. He's a big improvement on his predecessor. He's a cut above his likely successor. I don't demur at all from the idea that Lord Cameron is a skilled international diplomat. Our problem is, as a country who are forever lecturing other people on the quality of their democracy, now have an unelected head of state, an unelected prime minister, and an unelected foreign secretary, the second most important piece on the Treasury bench. And that's ruritarian. It's actually rather absurd if you start to consider it. As the Honourable Gentleman for Glasgow North was adumbrating the possible outcomes of a lectern being erected just at that white line there, so that we could all, and the microphones would need to be adjusted, face that way instead of, Madam Deputy Speaker, facing towards you. That's ridiculous. If there was a will, there would be a way. The silence from the government in response to the procedure committee's beseeching of them to find a solution to this is eloquent. As such, lengthy silences always.
We're not going to play everything, but, you know, that is pretty odd, isn't it? Is het niet vreemd dat Engeland eigenlijk zonder gekozen premier, zonder gekozen mensen aan de macht, een heel lectuur geeft over democratie? Is het niet een beetje vreemd? Ja, we weten allemaal, die Rishi Sunak, he was not chosen by the people. He was chosen by the party. Ja, dus Rishi Sunak komt eigenlijk uit de partij. En hij is niet gekozen door de bevolking. En dan gaan ze wat zitten malen over democratie en dit en dat. En Engeland is zo goed. En ja hoor. Nee, Engeland is zichzelf kwijt. You have lost yourselves, England. You know, you used to be a powerful entity within Europe, but now you've lost yourselves. I don't know what happened in the meantime. I can say that issues such as Palestine are in play in England, right? You are the responsible power giving giving away Palestine to the UN, right? The Palestinian Mandate. So, yeah, I can understand why George Galloway is so passionate about the whole Palestine situation over there.
We have a situation where daily, if not hourly, new and dramatic foreign policy developments are occurring. Just this day, for example, Prime Minister Netanyahu announced that this port that's being built in Gaza, with the rubble of the homes destroyed in the bombing, including the skulls and the bones of the people destroyed with the houses and lying unburied under the rubble, that according to Netanyahu, this port is being built for the deportation of millions of Palestinians from the territory, an act of ethnic cleansing of the foulest kind. We would have expected a statement from the Foreign Secretary in the light of such a dramatic development. But statement came there none, and could come there none. He is able.
The same goes for the Netherlands. We as a parliament say, right, that, there is a red line called Rafah, right? When things escalate in Rafah, maybe we will put sanctions on Israel. This is basically a city split into two. There are two Rafahs, right? One in the Palestinian part and one in Egypt. So it's a big city, right? And it's split into two. Now, millions and millions of Palestinians are at the border in Rafah, right? And, they cannot go anywhere. Egypt is building a big wall to prevent any Palestinians coming over to the other side of Rafah, right? So they cannot go anywhere. And now you have the US building a pier at the coast of Gaza for so-called humanitarian help, right? But we just heard from George Galloway that Netanyahu said this is a port where all the Palestinians can go. We've taken over your land, and where will all these Palestinians end up? Well, probably in the Netherlands, right? Kom er maar bij, kom er maar bij. Ja, ruimte genoeg in Nederland, kom er maar bij. 1,5 miljoen Palestijnen, kom er maar bij. Ja, niks aan de hand in Nederland hoor. Ja, het zijn zielige vluchtelingen. Dus, this is all happening, right? And, very, very sad thing to see. But probably the Netherlands will also have Palestinians as a capacity, even though we have Syrians over here, we have Ukrainians over here, we have Afghanis over here, it's crowded. We're one of the most crowded countries within Europe, and the Dutch mentality is, come on in. Come on in, jullie zijn welkom. Jullie zijn welkom in ons land. Jullie zijn welkom. We have people singing for Syrians, right? And it's a pretty catching song, you know. So yeah, we're going to show some video of that song. Apeldoorners zingen voor vluchtelingen. Jullie zijn welkom, jullie zijn welkom in ons land. Hier kunnen we het zien, mensen. Hier hebben we dus mensen uit Syrië. Valt wel op dat er veel mannen zijn, weinig vrouwen en kinderen, maar goed. Wij Syriërs willen de bewoners Apeldoorn bedanken voor uw hulp. Nou, er staan ze dus voor een AZC en we krijgen dat van de Syriërs die daar verblijven. En wat doen de Apeldoorners?
Jij hebt het gered en ik leef nu met je mee. Jij bent welkom, welkom in mijn land.
Ik heb het liedje geschreven toen ik het nieuws hoorde van de vrachtwagen waar al die mensen zijn omgekomen. En toen daarna die aangespoelde lichamen in beeld kwamen afgelopen weekend. Toen heb ik middernacht dit lied geschreven en gedacht.
So, when the Syrian war was happening, right, many people sought refuge in Europe. And there was this kid who got drowned and washed ashore, and that inspired her to make the song, right? And ja, kom er maar bij. 1,5 miljoen Palestijnen. Kom er maar bij, kom er maar bij. Ruimte genoeg hier. Ja. So this is all happening, people. And, you know, I am for, you know, people being free, right? Free from enslavement, which is government. Government is enslavement, right? They think they can control everything and stuff like that. Ja, misschien. Maybe we're going to put sanctions on Israel after they commit atrocities in Rafah, right? Maybe. Niet normaal, man. Echt, wat een wereld is dit. So we have Hezbollah shooting in the Golan Heights, right? Even Russia wants to make a military base over there. So that is a very important pawn in this whole strategic chess playing game, you know, because Russia was supposed to defend Syria, but when the Russians are gone from Syria, distracted in the war in Ukraine, right? Then Israel shoots hundreds of missiles towards Syria, so-called Iranian targets, and this and that, you know. So when a base will be placed in the Golan Heights, a Russian base, you know, the Russians will deter rockets from entering Syria. So that is a very strategic point where you can put a base, even though it's, you know, internationally not allowed. You see, Syria wants these Israelis gone too from the Golan Heights. This is why, you know, Syria is laying back and doing nothing basically. So this is all happening, people. This is all happening. And yeah, what a world we live in, right? We have not even talked about the rest of the world yet. You know, we can go on about Venezuela. You know, we did a special about that a couple of days ago. Venezuela, Guyana, that part over there. In Guyana, that Venezuela wants to annex, right? You know, leave each other alone. Build your own economy. Leave each other alone, right? That's what we want. We want peace. We don't want war. I mean, come on. There's enough war, right? It's all these stupid governments waving their dicks and saying, mine is bigger, mine is bigger. Yeah, right. You know, there was once something called diplomacy. That's out of the window, right? Either you're with us or you're with the enemy. Remember that? George Bush? Yeah. So that is the big divide, right? We are all people. Doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from Ukraine or whether you're from Kazakhstan or Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, whatever, you know, you are a human being. You have a brain, you know, think about things, right? Do you want instability in your own country? I don't. I want us all to get along. But no, we have to wage war, right? What a world we live in. So we also have the Sudan war going on. 1 year, you have the RSF, the paramilitary group, and the SAF, which is the army basically, fighting each other for a year, and all these other countries invest in the war, such as Libya, you know, the general that once was in the Gaddafi regime, who is in Benghazi, I believe. He is providing a lot of ammunition and stuff. You know, the war needs to end. Come on, Sudan. Come on. I know you guys can do it. Come around the table and stop fighting. You know, start talking with each other. You know? Oh, what a world. What a world we live in. Ja, mensen. Wat een wereld daar. Wat een wereld. Ja. Oh, Rusland is fout. Rusland valt Oekraïne aan. Nee, er is een coup geweest in 2014, waardoor radicalen aan de macht kwamen. En het oosten van Oekraïne zei, hier doen we niet aan mee. We gaan ons autonoom verklaren. Eerst had je dus de referendum in de Krim. En het oosten wou ook een referendum gaan doen, mocht niet. Dus hadden zij zich autonoom verklaard. En daarna had je dus Kiev, die het oosten ging aanvallen om dat gebied terug te annexeren. Ja. Dus dat is allemaal gaande. En die oostelijke gebieden, zoals Mariupol en Donbass en zoiets, die heeft Russische steun gevraagd. En daarom is Rusland dus nu in Oekraïne. Ja. In tegenstelling tot wat Mark Rutte beweert, van de een op andere dag ging Rusland Oekraïne aanvallen. Maar 17 is niet gebeurd in Rutte's optiek. Want ja, wie heeft dat ook alweer neergeschoten? Huh? Oh ja, staatsgeheim. Mogen we niet weten natuurlijk. Wat een wereld leef ik in. Maar goed, we sluiten af met een liedje natuurlijk. En ja, welk liedje zal het worden, hè? Welk liedje zal het worden? We hebben een liedje gevonden. So we're going to close off, right? We've said enough for now. We will be back and let's play a song when we close off. There you go.
Alex Jones is the single most censored man in all American history. Deplatformed. Alex Jones was deplatformed before it was a common term. He joins us now in our studio.
I see you, enemy. You are my enemy. He is your enemy. I see you, enemy.
So we thought it'd be interesting to start with a series of on-tape predictions that you made, some of which are so precise and so prescient that makes the hair on my arm stand up.
This guy, the smiling, leering devil that thinks you can't see what he is. I see you, enemy. Enemy, enemy. You are my enemy. He is your enemy. And I swear total resistance to you with everything I've got. You don't think I don't see you, Stelter? I see you. You understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that, Stelter? I see you, enemy. You are my enemy. He is your enemy. I see you, enemy.
So people say, well, why is he so angry? Well, it's because he's literally trying to take us off air, literally taking our sponsors. I see you, I know what you're doing. So I'm pissed off at it. And so there he is, all sweet and liberal and cackling and laughing, but he's really an agent of anti-American totalitarianism. So he was the front man of that, and I wanted to just simply say, you're right.
This uncircumcised Philistine, who does he think he is? Think I don't see you, Stelter? I see you, you understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that, Stelter? I see you, enemy. You are my enemy. He is your enemy. I see you, enemy.
What's interesting is after dinner, you and my producer called Stelter. What was so interesting was he was very kind of syrupy sweet with you.
That's why I was sarcastic and told him I wanted to date him.
You did. In fact, the exact line that you had was, Brian, I'm not usually gay, but I want you. You've been very clear in a very direct, pretty masculine way, I would say, about how you feel about Brian Stelter. There's not a lot of confusion about your views on Stelter. And he seemed a little bit, I'm not saying he's open to it or whatever, but he wasn't shocked by it.
He's like, give me your phone number.
Think I don't see you, Stelter? I see you, you understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that, Stelter? I see you, enemy. You are my enemy. He is your enemy. I see you, enemy.
We know who the enemy is, right? We are informed. You will never, ever put me on my knees. I will live on my legs. We will see each other again some other time.